On behalf of the District Attorney's Office, I would just like to thank you all for giving up your valuable time to execute your civic duty. This will not be a long trial, because the evidence that we have is irrefutable. Jason Morgan, that man sitting right over there, is guilty of first-degree murder. His crime was not fueled by greed. It wasn't committed in the heat of passion or even in self-defense. Lorenzo Alcazar's death was calculated, premeditated, cold-blooded murder. But that's what Mr. Morgan does. See, he is a professional killer. Shooting Lorenzo Alcazar was just another day at the office for him. But the fact is, a man is dead. And Jason Morgan should be made to pay for his crime.
The district attorney failed to mention his very real personal vendetta against my client, Jason Morgan. That man has accused Jason Morgan of everything from murder to moonshine. And in every case, the charges were without merit, and so they were dropped, as they should have been dropped in this case. Because once again, the district attorney is quite simply wrong. And Jason Morgan is not guilty. The DA never bothered to look at one other suspect in this case. And he also failed to mention that this is a murder trial without a dead body. There's no body. Lorenzo Alcazar is a well-known crime figure and an international arms dealer. He calls Venezuela home. He holds a Venezuelan passport. He is also a person of interest in the recent hostage crisis at the Metro Court. But before he could be questioned about that, Lorenzo Alcazar disappeared. He is quite simply no longer in Port Charles. But instead of finding Lorenzo Alcazar, wherever he may be, the district attorney has once again decided to railroad my client, because it has become standard procedure to lay any and all crimes, unsolved crimes, in the greater Port Charles area at the feet of Jason Morgan. I will agree with the district attorney on one thing only. This is going to be a very short trial, because I have every confidence that after you see past the DA's smoke and mirrors, past his so-called evidence, that you will find Jason Morgan not guilty.
Mr. Lansing, are you ready to call your first witness?
Yes, I am, Your Honor. The prosecution calls Samantha McCall. Miss McCall, you lived with the defendant for how long?
A little over 3 years.
May we assume that you knew Jason Morgan and his lifestyle intimately then?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Would you consider Jason Morgan to be a dangerous man?
Objection. Your Honor, this calls for a conclusion beyond the witness's qualifications.
Sustained.
Does Mr. Morgan keep any guns in his house?
Yes.
How many?
I'm not sure.
About a ballpark figure.
Objection. Asked and answered, Your Honor. She's not sure.
Overruled. Rephrased, Mr. Lansing.
Yes, Your Honor. To the best of your knowledge, Miss McCall, does Mr. Morgan own less than 3 guns?
No.
More than 5?
Yes.
Well, it's pretty much an arsenal.
Objection, Your Honor. The DA is stating his personal opinion, not a fact.
Sustained. The jury will disregard the DA's last remark.
Miss McCall, to the best of your knowledge, has Mr. Morgan ever taken any of his more than 5 guns out and used them to shoot people?
He's taken them out of the house, but I have no idea.
Have you ever seen him shoot and kill anyone with any of those weapons?
Yeah, I have.
So how many
but it was
people
all...
actually have you seen Mr. Morgan shoot and kill in the time that you've known him? Less than 3, more than 5?
More than 5.
Well, that averages out to about 1.25 victims per year that you know him.
Objection!
Sustained.
Have you ever been shot, Miss McCall?
Yes.
By Mr. Morgan?
No.
By who?
Manny Ruiz.
And what was his motive?
He wanted revenge on Jason.
Objection, Your Honor, calls for speculation.
Sustained.
Have you ever had to use a gun while in the company of Mr. Morgan?
Yes.
Is Mr. Morgan's closest friend the reputed crime boss, Michael Corinthos Jr., better known as Sonny Corinthos?
Yes.
The same Sonny Corinthos who was on trial for shooting Lorenzo Alcazar.
Objection, Your Honor. Mr. Corinthos is not on trial here today, and Mr. Alcazar apparently wasn't dead in any of those cases either.
Sustained. Careful, Mr. Lansing. Get to where you're going.
Yes, Your Honor. Is it not true that Mr. Morgan has been a long-standing employee of Mr. Corinthos?
Your Honor, the defense stipulates a working relationship. Mr. Corinthos and Mr. Morgan are partners in a coffee business.
All right, then, fine. Let's review, Miss McCall. In your experience of living with Mr. Morgan, you've known him to be a man who owns more than 5 guns, which he has used to shoot more than 5 people. Again, I have to ask you, Miss McCall, would that make Mr. Morgan a more dangerous man than someone who simply imports coffee beans?